Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to D. Ray and Wanda's Farm. Well, we had some pretty good storms come through the state yesterday, and so I'm out here this little afternoon, Saturdays, a little bit cooler, which is nice because it's been hotter than get out. But since we did have some storms, I wanted to just kind of make the rounds, check the fence, make sure we didn't have any trees down, anything like that. But while I was making my rounds, I wanted to make a video today, and the video is going to be a little bit off topic from the farm thing that I've been doing here lately. Those of y'all who've been on my channel for a number of years, you know back in the past I've done videos on all kinds of subjects, so you never know what you're going to get here. But anyway, I had a unique encounter a couple of days ago that I wanted to share with y'all. This past Thursday, Randy and I were getting ready to close the shop down for the evening, and a gentleman comes riding up on a Kawasaki 650 dual sport street trail bike, KLR 650, and asked if we could help him. He's having some problems with his machine. It won't go but about 45 miles an hour. And at first I looked at him and I said, "Sir, we don't work on motorcycles here. You know, our business over the years has pretty much geared itself to side-by-sides and ATVs, things like that. So it just doesn't really allow us the time to work on motorcycles anymore." He kind of looked kind of disappointed, and I could tell he wasn't from Arkansas, I'll put it that way. Come find out, the gentleman was from a town in Belgium. His name is Evert, and he is currently riding across the United States on what's called the TransAmerica Trail. Now, I won't go into real in-depth as to what that is, but basically it's a mapped trail that goes from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast, but it doesn't use any major highways. It's all, they try to do as much dirt roads, back roads, old two-lane roads, trails, off-road trails that you have public access to, that sort of thing. It's a little over 4,500 miles from coast to coast. And this gentleman started out of North Carolina, flew in from Belgium, had a motorcycle already set to purchase, loaded all his gear on it. He takes off, and he's living the dream of a lifetime to traverse the country and see the sights. Well, of course, his motorcycle, he's having problems with it. It won't go but about 45 miles an hour. And after listening to his story, I looked at Randy and I said, "Man, let's pull all this stuff out of the shop." He said, "What are you going to do?" I said, I think I'm going to be working a little bit late tonight. So we pulled all the machines out to where we could get Everett's machine in there, and dove in on it. I suspected it had a problem that I had seen a time or two before in my past history working with motorcycles and such. I thought it had jumped time. Checked that. That wasn't what it was. So I'm like, oh man, I just hope I don't mess this guy's motorcycle up where he can't go any further, period. But anyway, ended up checking a few things, dived into the carburetor, found out that it had a chunk of foreign material had sucked itself up in the main jet and had partially restricted it. Therefore, it was not getting enough fuel, wouldn't run but about 45 miles an hour. By this time, it was getting late in the evening. Wanda was out there with us, and I suggested to her, I said, you know, chances are we probably need to put this gentleman up for the night. She was already way ahead of me. She had already said, well, I'm gonna go inside and get the guest bedroom ready for him and guest bathroom and all that. And I'd asked him, I said, what do you do for accommodations, throughout your travel? And he had a small tent packed with him. Normally he finds a place where you can primitive camp, such things as that. And I said, no, you can, Southern hospitality, you're gonna stay with us tonight. We'll put you up for the night and everything. So got his bike to where it ran like it's supposed to. It needed to cool off so we could put all the body work back on it and get all of his gear loaded and everything. I said, man, we'll just let this thing sit overnight because we got it licked. Want you to stay with us tonight. We'll get you up early in the morning, get you back on your way, because he's anxious to get on his trip. He flew in. He has a set number of days in order to make his trip across the country. When he gets to the West Coast, he's driving to LA or riding to LA. He's got to sell his bike, He's got a plane ticket already purchased to fly him back home to Belgium, so he has a limited amount of time he can spend. He did allow for service breakdowns, things like that, but this kind of turned into an unexpected encounter for his motorcycle, so we're trying to accommodate him best we can. So of course it was late in the evening. He hadn't had any supper yet, nor had we, so all the restaurants were closed. So what did we do? Took him to Sonic. He had never been to a Sonic before, and he said, I'll have to remember this, because he's riding in full riding gear, and it looked kind of weird to go into a restaurant, but you can pull up to a Sonic, order right there on your bike, go sit at a table, eat you a quick bite, get back on your bike, and you're back on the road. So he said, I'll have to remember that. And I said, man, there's Sonics all across the country. So anyway, put him up for the night. We got up early the next morning, got him out there, got his gear all put back on his bike and everything. And of course, we got a chance to visit about a lot of things. I won't go into that with y'all. But he got ready to leave, and he says, well, I guess I need to settle up with you. And I told him, I said, you ever heard of this thing called Pay It Forward? And he says, no. He says, is that kind of like PayPal? I said, no. I said, no, here's the deal. I said, I'm not going to charge you anything. I'm not going to charge you for repairing your machine, staying the night with us, buying you supper or whatever, I said, but throughout your travels, not necessarily today, tomorrow, maybe after you get back home to Belgium, I said, at some point in your life, you're going to run into somebody, and you're going to run into somebody that's going to need some help, and you're going to be in a situation to where you can help them. And so you reflect on what happened to you here today, and you pay that forward. You help somebody else out. Folks, it don't cost a dime to be kind to somebody. Don't cost a dime. And so be kind to folks, Hey, you see somebody in trouble, help them out. It's Southern hospitality. It's what we do here, but it don't have to be just Southern hospitality. It can be something that anybody can do. Evert, safe travels, my friend. We're friends on Facebook now, so we'll catch up with him. And he even talked about maybe bringing his family over at some date in the future to see the United States. I told him, I said, well, of course, you come through Arkansas, buddy. You got a place here to stay with us. All right. Well, guys, I'm going to get on back to my rat killing here. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Come by the farm anytime. You never know what we're going to be up to next. All right. As always, y'all have a good one. We'll catch y'all next time around.